Hi, this is Miss Mandy here with your Friday Fix. This week I am here to help you get your fix of some middle grade fiction. First up is The Amelia 6 by Kristen L. Gray. Millie Ashford is excited that she has been selected as one of the 6 girls who can have a sleepover in the birthplace and museum of Amelia Earhart. The girls come from around the country, but all have an interest in science and flying. Upon arrival, the girls get snowed in, and soon after they start their Amelia trivia scavenger hunt, minus their phones so they can't cheat, they get caught up in a mystery. Amelia's famous flight goggles are missing. They know there was a bit of a discussion about where the goggles should live permanently, and it quickly becomes clear that none of the adults in the house with them can be trusted. The girls must work together to find the goggles, keep themselves safe, and somehow alert the authorities to what's going on. My second pick for today is the Fairy Tale Reform School series by Jen Kalanita. Gilly wouldn't call herself wicked exactly, but when you have 5 siblings and live in a rundown boot, you have to get creative to make ends meet. Gilly's a pretty good thief if she says so herself, until she gets caught. Gilly's sentenced to Fairy Tale Reform School, where the teachers are former villains like the Big Bad Wolf, the Evil Queen, and Cinderella's wicked stepmother. Soon she meets fellow students like Jax, a fairy named Kayla, a pirate named Ollie, the Evil Queen's younger sister Jocelyn, and an ogre named Maxine. Together, this group of unlikely friends and reformed thieves will have to come together to help save their school and their kingdom from villains like Sleeping Beauty's Wicked Fairy and Rumpelstiltskin. The next selection is Raising Lumi, the latest novel from one of my favorite authors, Joan Bauer. Olive Hudson is going through a lot. Her father just died, and since her mother died when Olive was 2, she is now parentless. Arrangements are made for her to live with her half-sister Maudie, who she barely knows. On top of that, the girls inherit a bit of debt, so they can't keep the house. They move to the Stay a While, a shared housing arrangement where they have their own room but share everything else. Maudie gets a job at an ad design company that has close ties to a seeing eye dog group. Olive immediately falls in love with one of the puppies and convinces Maudie and their housemates that she can raise a guide dog puppy. While Olive needs someone to love, she worries about what will happen when she has to let Lumi go to her future owner. How will she put so much of herself into raising this puppy and then say goodbye? Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This is the first book in a new fantasy series. When Quentin Peters disappears, the police are convinced he fell in with a bad crowd and they don't investigate. But Amari knows her brother was on track to go to an Ivy League school with a scholarship, and she is determined to find out the truth herself. Amari finds a mysterious briefcase in her brother's closet, and it becomes clear that something unusual is going on. Quentin left her a recommendation for a training program with the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. Amari has no choice but to go, and once her eyes are opened to the magical creatures, she will never be the same again. This action packed book shows the value of curiosity, determination, and love for family. Letters from Cuba by Ruth Behar. Esther is living in Poland with her mother, grandmother, and siblings. Her father is in Cuba, trying to make enough money to bring over the rest of the family. When he has enough money to bring over one person, Esther successfully campaigns to go over first. She makes the long journey by herself and is heartbroken to see how many of her fellow Jews are also leaving Poland. When Esther arrives in Cuba, she realizes her woolen clothes will not work. Using skills taught to her by her mother, she makes her own lightweight dress. Soon she is able to sell the dresses she has made, a prosperous turn of events that gets even better when a neighbor gifts her a sewing machine. Esther writes letters to her sister Malka, and it is these letters that make up the novel. This is a new angle for a period in history I've read a lot about, and I enjoyed learning more about the culture and history of Cuba. Our last book for today is The Boys in the Back Row by Mike Jung. Matt and Eric are best friends and bandmates. When they find out that Eric will be moving away, they decide to have one last grand adventure. While their school is on a field trip to an amusement park, they will sneak off to a nearby comic convention. This will take a lot of planning to pull off, especially when they have to deal with the school bullies at every turn. A funny story about the kind of shenanigans that only best friends get up to. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found some titles you can place on hold or check out through our apps. Come back next Friday for some young adult recommendations. Don't forget to log your reading in Beanstack for our winter reading challenge. Have a great weekend.